This is Excel homework number 3 and question number 3 video example. All right, so it says create a table and a graph of a function, and it gives us the function here, and it tells us that it wants our x or our input values to go from -2 to 22. It doesn't tell us what the step value is, but I made my step value 0.5, so I started at -2, I step up 0.5, and I go to -1.5, etc., all the way down, or all the way up to 22. And then I have my function, which is equal to -0.04 times my input, my x value is in A2. I have to use cell referencing, -8 times, I need to use parentheses as well, A2, that's my x value, -14 times x minus 19. Okay, that's the function here that I was given. All right, so I do that, and then I copy it all the way down. So let's graph this thing first because it asked us to graph it. So I'm going to highlight this whole table of input and outputs. I'm going to insert, go to my scatter, and my smooth line graph. So here's what it looks like. All right, I can see that. I'm going to move it all the way up to the top here, so I get a better view. Okay. So I can see when I put in a -2, I have an output, or an f of x equal 134. And as x is increasing, let's see what's happening to y, or f of x. It's decreasing all the way down, keeps -24, 19, 15, 8.32. Okay, 0 keeps getting smaller. Okay, -2.88, -2.95. Oh, and then it starts going up again. All right. So the next question wants me to find the local min and max. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to look at my output values, right? I want to find, okay, where it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it starts to go up. So this is the smallest value that I have. I'm going to use solver because I want the exact value, smallest value. Data solver. Okay, so my objective is I want column B, cell 27. I want to find the minimum value, the exact minimum value, by figuring out or changing the variable, my input variable. I unclicked unconstrained and I solve. Okay, so this here is my minimum value, and I want to make that yellow. So if I go home, when you use this little paint can, you can just click on that when you have your cells highlighted. Okay, so at an input of 10.48686, my output is -29750, etc. Okay, and let's see what the problem asked. If it told me how many decimal places it wanted it, it didn't say, so I could just say, whoops, I could just highlight this and format it to just have 4 decimal places if I want, or any number that I want. Okay. All right, so let's look at my graph. Kind of looks like it makes sense. It's getting smaller, smaller, smaller till I get about here somewhere, about 10.48. That looks about right. And then after that minimum point, it just goes up a little bit. It hits my maximum and then goes back down. So let's track that in my table. That's my minimum. Now it's getting bigger, 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 bigger. I'll keep going down. Bigger. It's going up. 2.125, 2.16. Oh, and now it goes back down again. So when I look, all right, here at 2.16, let's look at my graph. That looks like it makes about, about sense here, about 17. It looks like maybe it hits the max. Let's find the exact maximum. So I need to use solver for that. So I'm going to use data solver. All right, I want to take B40 as my objective, and I want that to be my maximum. I want to change cell A40, and I'm going to solve. Okay, so let's make this green. If I come back home, I can change my little paint can to green, and I'm going to format that to, let's just do 4 decimal places. Okay, so when x equals 16.8465, my output, my f of x or my y is 2.1691. This is my max. Up here was my minimum. All right, so now let's see what else the problem is asking me for. It says label cell C1, okay, with the words average rate of change. So I put AROC, average rate of change. All right. I can make that gray by changing my little paint can to gray. All right. And then it says write a formula in cell C3 which calculates the average rate of change between x equals -2 and x equals -1.9. Well, right now, if I put that formula in here, okay, I have -2 and -1.5. I want it to be between -2 and -1.9. So I'm just going to put -1.9 there. I'm just going to enter that. And now I'm going to use my average rate of change formula, which is equal to, we can't forget to use our parentheses, okay? B3 minus B2, that's my change in output, or my change in Y values, divided by my change in inputs. Here, A3 minus A2. Again, I need both numerator and denominator in parentheses, and now I can copy that down, and I can see what's going on with my rates of change. All right, so average rate of change is telling me about whether the function is increasing or decreasing, okay? That is the important point. So here, as x changes or x increases, what's happening to y? It's decreasing. I have an average rate of change that's negative, meaning my function's decreasing, okay? If I look here, that makes sense. I'm decreasing, 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 all the way down to my minimum. So let's check and see what's happening in the table. I'm decreasing, okay? I'm going to move this over here. It keeps decreasing. Whoops. Thinks I have months. Decreasing. Okay. Okay, it's decreasing all the way down until I get, whoops. I'm going to put min over here because that messed up. Okay, let's copy that down. Let's pull my maximum over here and recopy that. Okay. So it's decreasing, decreasing, decreasing because it's my average rate of change is negative. And after I hit to my minimum point, it starts increasing. Okay. All right, so it keeps decreasing all the way down until my minimum. Now my average rate of change is positive, meaning it's starting to increase. It's increasing. Okay, average rate of change positive, increasing, increasing all the way until I hit my maximum here. Then what happens to my average rate of change? It's negative. So it starts decreasing, okay? And then it is decreasing all the rest of the way down because my average rate of change is negative. So what happens if I want to interpret it? Okay, when I start at -2, it is decreasing all the way down till my minimum right here. And then it starts increasing just for this little brief time between my minimum and my maximum. It's increasing, and then it's decreasing again.